All right, guys, we got rid of my beloved Bronco Raptor, and I'm quite sad about it. This has been one of the only vehicles I've owned that I'm sad to get rid of. Adult decisions. The channel's gonna make some pivots. I think a lot of you guys are gonna like where things are going, but we're gonna mix some things up a little bit. With that being said, let's talk about what I got and why I went with this. And I also wanna show you guys while we're here, the RHO had a rough week. There's a huge dent in that rear fender. Disaster. We're gonna go through that whole thing. We've already had this vehicle now for a few weeks, and before we did this video, we kind of wanted to get a few hundred miles on this thing. We've already done a towing review on this thing, giving you some cues of what it might be. So we've looked at a lot of options, and this is where we landed. The 2026 Jeep Grand Wagoneer Upland version. And you can see right now we have the air suspension at the extreme off-road to height. We're gonna have a full video now showing of the process of delivering this. This has been something in the works now, guys, for almost 7 months. We had one order not go through, logistics issues to get it. And we went through a lot of different scenarios of vehicles we wanted to choose. And I'm gonna go through this in a future video. I'm gonna show you guys why we landed on this and the value it possesses. But first, let me show you about when the thing first arrived to us, to the Mark Dodge virtual delivery process, and later we're gonna do a deep dive on how that process works. It's the second time I've done this. There it is, guys. How cool. So a Sprinter with a diesel converted. That is something else. Get a little look. I like how you had it strapped down. Just curious if we could see these skid plates a little bit. Yeah, you can see the one under the fuel tank, pretty nice. One underneath the transfer case, pretty good. See the exhaust, it's interesting. The exhaust is actually a little bit different routing, it looks like, than underneath the Ram. Good clearance still to changing oil. That's the one thing I was worried about, and I'm really glad to see that. And you got a skid plate under front differential. But that area right there is what we got to work on. We're going to talk about that here in the future. But otherwise, looking pretty good. We've been waiting for this thing for a long time, man. Holy cow. Here we go, pulling this bad boy off. A lot easier to pull off than the RHO. The RHO, man, was so wide, the thing could barely come off. All those lights look sweet. I dig that. Poor guy had some rough weather to come through. Tornadoes across the state, flooding, just a mess. I was nervous all night long for this thing to get home, and we're about to get another rainstorm here in a few minutes. When you get your vehicle delivered, first thing you do is make sure to do a good inspection. What makes it tough right now is the vehicle's been rained on, which is not ideal. I can feel something on the hood here. I don't know if it just needs cleaned or something, but there's something on the hood here, but it's gonna be hard to check and see if there's any scratches or anything like this. So we just went in and grabbed some towels just to make sure there's nothing wrong, nothing damaged. But here's the interior. They got it all detailed for us, looking good. Yeah, very awesome. They even kept the cover on. I like that. Got the big sunroof, looking cool. There's the window sticker. Got some ambient lighting on it inside here, very nice. I like the black top, looks pretty sharp. The boys at Mark Dodge did it again for us. I'm really happy. Third time using these guys now. Got the big floor mats back here. Oh, that's pretty cool. And you got the rubber floor mats, I like that. And I think this thing has, yep, the roof rails underneath there too, so that's kind of cool. All right, guys, here we go. First impressions. Kind of a grody day right now. Unfortunately, I have to show you a little bit in the rain. But if you're wondering what the lighting looks like, looks pretty sharp. And if you're wondering what an Upland looks like, you got these nice tow hooks, but if you notice, the front bumper is actually designed a little bit differently. And I think aesthetically, I think that looks a lot better than the prior generation. Kind of see, it's got the Falcon Wild Peak tires, fixed running boards. This is a big deal to us. Where we live in Michigan, I did not want a power step again. I never want them again. They're just a pain in the butt to keep working correctly. Kind of see the back of this thing. That's what the lighting looks like in the rear. It looks really sharp. And then there is a secondary light up above, brake light. You know, I had some mixed feelings on it just saying Jeep. I was really kind of hoping it said Grand Wagoneer, but less is more sometimes, and I'm sort of wondering now if I like that a little more, because you still get the Grand Wagoneer on the sides, and I love that it's got the American flag next to it. That's so cool. But also another thing I want to kind of show you guys here with the Upland version, obviously got tow hitch down below, got these nice floor mats here, all weather. It says Grand Wagoneer. Check out the storage, and look at that. We've got our roof racks, and we got a little bit of storage underneath. This has power second and third row seating to go up and down. Got a 12-volt plug. And the other thing that surprised me, they gave me this like privacy shade thing that goes right across this thing, and it all kind of folds up. I was so confused of when it came in what this little packet was, and I'll show you that. You got some tie downs here. You can see, I assume this is a subwoofer or something to go in this back corner. Got some lighting up above here, which looks nice, and you have lighting here as well. This is where, when you have your third row up, this would be the middle seat belt. Let's see. Now I'll just kind of jump in here. We got this third seat down because we never really use it. We like more of the storage than anything, but I'll at least show you kind of how it goes up. One thing I like about the Grand Wagoneer is I want you guys to pay attention to this depth right here. This is great footprint storage versus a standard Expedition, a standard Yukon, and definitely a Sequoia. This is a big reason why we went with the Grand Wagoneer. Even though this isn't the L version, this is like in between an Expedition and Expedition Max. It's like the right size. You know, if you got the Expedition, it's probably, I'm gonna say about like here range. There's gotta be a solid 6-8 inches or more in that area. And then another thing I'm gonna show you, a reason I liked for 2026, the new Grand Wagoneer that they didn't have in prior years is right here, guys. We now have a flow-through entry. So before, the Grand Wagoneer only came with the entertainment console here, and it's something I didn't care for about the Grand Wagoneer. It's one thing I liked about the Navigator and the Escalade is you could actually have this flow through. So if you got kids in car seats here with the last generation Grand Wagoneer, how do you get a kid in there without climbing over this really beautiful center console? I don't care for that. The other thing I like is I like this hard plastic back surface with a nice storage here, so kids aren't kicking the crap out of a leather back on a seat. And you still got cup holders here. You still got USB-A, C. You still got some charging here, storage down there, storage up here, HVAC controls there and here. Plus, I love this. I don't know if you can see, but you do have a sunroof in the third row. And then this is also another thing really cool, the fam cam. So if you got kids in car seats, you can see, and you can actually move it around on the screen. I'll show you, but you can actually see second and third row seating for kids. But I'm just gonna kind of show you guys how much leg room there is here in the second row. I mean, I've got a solid foot in distance here. Now let me go to the third row here and show you guys what the space is like. So you can see my headroom. Now you can see I am touching right here, but it's not too bad, and I'm just gonna open the shade up here. I just think this is the coolest thing for, is it necessarily? Of course not, but it is really cool looking. I do touch here a little bit, but it's not terrible, and I can recline this seat down, which is nice. You got a HVAC controls here, cup holders, USB A and C. Little hanger here for clothing, LED lights, but still got, I'd say, 4 inches of legroom, and that is reclined, so that's good. And this is another thing I've heard people talk about that they don't like on other brands. Headrests, second row. Check this out, guys. Headrests for all 3 positions for the third row, and I guess other brands out there don't have that, and that's a big deal for safety for a lot of people, and I wasn't aware of that, so I appreciate you guys educating me on this as well. Let's travel up to the front row. I know some people love the power steps, and honestly I love them too. I think they look slick, especially in the Grand Wagoneer, how they slide in there. But with issues we've had and people we know in the Michigan area, I actually like not having that. All right, let's get into this first row. Soft touch, I like this. You still have the presets for 2 different drivers, Alpine stereo speakers. You got the power folding mirrors, auto, all 4 windows to go down. Good storage in the side. What do we got for payload, guys? 1,232 pounds of payload. We got power seats here. The lumbar looks really nice. Got some nice all-weather floor mats. We might even make some changes on some floor mats here in the future. And then check this out. I like this storage here with the USB A and C, but this is what I'm really digging. Check this out, guys. Wow, how dope is that? Hit that button, and you guys have a storage bin, a locked storage inside your center console. I think that is so cool. Got a nice cup holder storage area here to cover. Got another area up front with a USB A and C and a wireless charging. I'm not sure if you can see. And then this kind of covers up. Now, if you go to the higher trim levels, this is actually an additional screen. You got lighting in there, and you can kind of see, you can turn off your start stop. You got your parking assist, traction control. You got some turn. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know what this park button does there. Oh, that's park sense. Okay, I'll have to play with that. Then you can turn off your sensors, tow haul, and this is where you change your suspension here. We're gonna drop this thing all the way down to the lowest level, which I think is called like entry mode, and you can kind of see what the dash layout looks like here. It's lowering it right now. We can feel this thing teeter-tottering back and forth. The other thing I got to play with is the settings on this display. It seems super bright right now. So I want to kind of go in there and change some of these settings. This is really cool. So you got an off-road page, but check this out. You've got GPS trails and logs for off-road. I think this is sort of specific to the Upland model. That's pretty cool. Look forward to playing with that. We're gonna go in and change some of the different settings and everything. But we had about 16 miles on it. We're gonna get some more miles on this thing here shortly. Let me see if we can open up this shade here. Get a little more sunlight. Okay, so we got the panoramic sunroof open right now. And I do like that you do have the lit, vanity mirror. You do have universal home link. You do have the garage door opener built in. You do got the sunglass holder here. But if you notice, it doesn't have the little thing up here where you can see in the third row. Why? Because here, right here, guys, this is fam cam. So this is the camera right there looking down. And this is cool because check out what we're doing over here. We're actually zooming in and out at different spots. How cool is that? I've never had a vehicle with this before, and I know it's not like new technology, but I still think it's really cool. Obviously, I'm just kind of playing around here with different settings. You can see your heated seats and your heated steering wheel controls. This one does not have massaging seats, which I'm gonna be a little bummed to miss or to not have, but I will tell you right now, guys, one thing I was wondering is what does the Upland seating feel like? Dude, the seating in this is very, very comfortable. I like that. We're gonna go in and configure the settings, get everything dialed in, and then here is our glove box. Yeah, this is a nice vehicle. We're gonna play around and just get everything dialed in now. Here's another thing I love about this is the driver and passenger blind spot. Watch this, I've got it in drive. I'm gonna put my left turn signal on. I think that's so cool. Now passenger side, very cool. I dig that stuff, especially for towing. Let's see what the backup camera looks like. Let's see, can we zoom in? Yep, full hitch, full front, down. Can we zoom in good? Yeah, it looks like resolution is good. I like that. Top view, and I like how it uses the full display. This is a lot bigger than my truck. Mirror dimmer. Yeah, you can turn that on and off, I assume. Let's see, dashboard. All right, so let's go through the menus on what the Upland gauge cluster looks like. So you notice the amber lights here. This is tied to let you know the lane management system is on. But let me see if I can turn that off. That's letting you know it's on, so when this turns green when you're going down the road, it's letting you know all the active lane management is engaged. Kind of see the fuel gauges, coolant. This is where your audio, stored messages. This is screen setup, so we can go in and we could change. We got upper right, we got temperature. What do we got for upper left? We'll put this as, I'm gonna change this to actually to average fuel economy. Current gear, I like showing that on. I think it's kind of cool. Not a lot of other brands won't do this. Fuel gauge, I like that it shows the range. Favorites menu. So here's what we got for favorites selected. Pretty much everything it looks like right now. Faults, upper left, there we go. So now we can go in and we can change, this is digital, or here's your traditional speedometer, if you like more of that gauge cluster design, which I don't actually mind this. Go into your driver assist, and then that shows you could zoom in and out, and then you've got your fuel economy. You've got your temperatures, I like this. Coolant temp, oil pressure. Notice we're at 24 PSI. I'm gonna give this thing a little gas. See it go up a little bit. Trans temp, battery voltage, oil temp. We got oil life, and we got oil height. So this has still got the sensor for the oil height, tire pressure, and then just talking about letting you know start, stop, not ready, driver seat belt unlocked. You can see the height right here. It just talks about right now we're in entry exit height, And then this is the last, I think, is maps. Let's see how long this takes to load. And the other thing I learned is I think this button here and that button zooms in and out. Let's just see. Sure does. How cool is that? So very neat. So we're pretty excited to have in this vehicle. We've been waiting on this, guys, for like 7 months. We've been excited to share this with you guys. I'm gonna miss the Bronco Raptor a lot, no doubt about it. Something else is coming I think you guys would be excited about. I'm gonna get a Bronco Raptor again, I promise you that. That is a vehicle that I'm gonna miss. I just don't know how to say it anymore. That is just one of the most awesome vehicles. I love it. Excited to have the Hurricane and see how this thing does towing. I think this thing's gonna do a lot better than my RHO because of the air ride suspension and the fact that this thing has the magnetic ride control. I think it's gonna tow a little better, and it's got a 15 or 1,800 pounds more tow rating. So this is a big deal, guys. Engine break-in recommendations. An initial break-in period is recommended for powertrain, engine, transmission, axles. Drive moderately during the first 100 miles, and after that, for the first 500 miles, avoid long periods at constant speeds, varying engine speed, RPM, and throttle position while cruising. Brief throttle, and you can kind of go through all this stuff. Oil changes should be consistent with the anticipated climate conditions under which vehicle operates. Never use non-detergent oil or straight mineral oil. Yeah, no duh. Okay, oil. This has got the 7.5 quarts, talks about the fluid capacities. Let's see what it's got for fuel selection. And this is a big deal, guys, because I've had a bunch of people ask me this. Fuel selection, 87 octane. The website is incorrect. So keep that in mind. What about oil? We recommend 0W20, which meets the spec of the MS6395 equivalent. Full synthetic SAE 0W20 can be used, but must have a API Starburst trademark with certification level of API 5P or later, or 5M plus is also acceptable. The two different coolants, one for the intercooler and one for the standard engine coolant. Trailer towing, here we go. Grand Wagoneer Max Tow, which is what this is. Frontal facial area. So a lot of people don't realize this with tow ratings. Tow ratings are based on a frontal square footage, and so you can kind of see this is 9,810 pounds with a 55 square foot frontal area with a maximum tongue weight of 981 pounds. So this is really good. Make sure you investigate this whichever model, but if you don't get a max tow package, it's 8,200 pounds, which is actually still pretty good. I'm surprised it's only 1,600 pounds more jumping to the max tow. We're excited to bring this to the channel. I know some of you people with family and you want to do some off-roading and you want to tow a trailer up to 9,800 pounds. I'm a fan of the Hurricane motor if you guys haven't noticed. I'm excited. I hope this is a good vehicle, and if there are issues, you're going to know about it. We've already got a towing video that's completed. It's going to come after this. We're going to do a deep dive and get this thing under the hood with Critter's Garage, and we already are in the works of doing our first oil change, and we're going to do an oil analysis with the standard output Hurricane engine, as well as doing a comparison of the standard output Hurricane versus the high output, and that is why we had a video recently of the Grand Wagoneer versus the RHO in a MPG loop. Thanks for watching.